Good evening. On today's episode for community and connectedness, we're really focusing on intentional acts of kindness. So I really want to encourage you, if there is anything that you can do for someone, whether it's someone in your family, someone in the neighborhood, drop something off, your favorite snack, or let someone borrow your favorite book. Think of someone without having to go to the store and be extravagant or even buy anything. Think of someone and think of a creative way that you can tell them that they are special and that they are loved. So we always refer to random acts of kindness, but I think in this season we need to be very intentional. So I want to carry on that focus within our Autism Awareness Virtual Book Club. So intentional acts of kindness. What can you do for others? Okay, so we are going to start the evening with The World According to Mr. Rogers. If anyone's following along with this book, I am on page 136. All of us at some time or other need help. Whether we're giving or receiving help, each one of us has something valuable to bring to this world. That's one of the things that connects us as neighbors. In our own way, each of us is a giver and a receiver. Uniquely human, a different way of seeing autism. We are finally in chapter 3. Good job. Okay, chapter 3, enthusiasms. Sometimes, Sometimes a single word can change your perspective forever. Once I invited the late Carla Claiborne Park to speak at an annual autism fundraising conference I help run. Clara Claiborne Park. I'm so tired. I'm almost so tired I want to cry. But I would love just to spend a little bit more time with you guys. Clara, who was an English professor at Williams College, was the mother of Jesse Park, a gifted painter with autism. Clara and her husband David were pioneers in the autism world. In the 1960s, they were among the founders of the National Society for Autistic Children, the first advocacy organization of its type. And in 1967, she published The Siege, a first widely read memoir by a parent about raising a child with autism. I was privileged to get to know Clara and David early in my career and savored every opportunity to spend time with them. Jessie displays many classic characteristics of autism. She struggles with social interactions, has difficulty expressing herself in speech, and recoils if someone touches her without warning. Over the years, Jessie's parents appreciated and supported her deep interests, many of which became themes for her vivid, rainbow-colored paintings. Architecture, prime numbers, clouds, odometers, quartz headers, consolations, ATM machines, and many others. After her speech at the conference, Clara, then in her late 70s, took questions from the audience. "I'm curious about your daughter's obsessions," someone said. "Have you dealt with them?" "Obsessions?" Clara repeated, contemplating the question for a moment. We've always thought of them as enthusiasms. Clara and David had a particularly constructive attitude toward the many subjects that attracted their daughter's focus, no matter how unusual they were. Clara explained that if something truly gripped Jessie's attention, she and David would seek ways to steer Jessie's interest in a way that would help her. That wasn't always easy, since her taste was so unpredictable. For a time, Jessie focused on quartz space heaters. She admired the design. She categorized the styles and brands. She would carefully examine their parts. That enthusiasm gave way to another: the logos of rock bands. She would pore over album covers and photographs in magazines, closely scrutinizing the letters and graphics. She began integrating quartz heaters and rock band logos into her paintings, many of which had hung in museums and been featured in gallery shows. Rather than directing her daughter away from her interests, Clara treated Jessie with respect, assuming there were reasons for her fascinations, that to Jessie it all made sense. Children with autism develop all kinds of enthusiasms, talking nonstop about or focusing endlessly on subjects like skyscrapers, animal species, geography, particular kinds of music, sunrise and sunset times, or turnpike exits. Perhaps focusing on one topic gives the child a sense of control, of predictability and security in a world that can be unpredictable and feel very scary. Building on enthusiasms. Still, some parents and professionals view these interests as yet another undesirable symptom of autism, one that makes it even more difficult for the child to fit in. Often, their interest is to discourage the child, to redirect his attention and suggest interests that are more socially acceptable and conventional. But discouraging an enthusiasm can be just another way of dismantling a strategy that helps a child with autism feel better regulated, or worse, removing a source of interest and joy. A more helpful approach is to do as Jessie Park's parents did and use the enthusiasm as a way to expand the child's outlook and improve the child's life. That was the case with Eddie, a fourth grader who showed little interest in reading the stories his teacher assigned as part of the standard reading curriculum. He didn't seem to have difficulty reading and didn't typically avoid doing schoolwork. Rather, he found the subject matter too abstract and the stories irrelevant to his life experience. When I met with his talented special education teacher, Kate, in my role as a consultant for the district, I suggested that we make an effort to find a hook that would draw him into his academic work. Surely we could discover something that would motivate him to read and write. Was there anything that seemed to engage Eddie? Kate had noticed one thing. Eddie liked to spend time closely examining license plates on the cars in the school lot, then later enjoyed matching plate numbers and cars from memory. A casual observer or a teacher who was less attuned might not have registered that a child's interest in something as mundane as license plates could actually become an opportunity. I suggested that Kate pay attention to that particular interest. Perhaps it might inspire an idea to engage Eddie. When I returned a month later, she was excited to show me a project Eddie had recently completed. Working from a plan Kate had helped Eddie to create, he had spent time photographing each car and license plate in the school lot. Oh, it's so cute. With help from his teacher in the school office, he matched each car with the staffer who owned it. Then he met with each car owner, photographed the person, and conducted an interview to get to know the person. Do you have hobbies? Are you married? How many children do you have? I'm just adding that intonation because it's fun. Over time, he assembled the photographs, documented the interviews, and developed a PowerPoint presentation for his class. Not only did the project serve its purpose, offering Eddie the chance to focus on reading, writing, research, and organizing material, but the experience had also proven transformative. The same child who had seemed disengaged and unmotivated to read about his project, eagerly engaging with teachers, gathering information, and assembling it to share with his class. It also provided an opportunity to work on social and communication skills. As he proudly presented the finished project to his classmates, then fielded questions. So cute. His parents could not have been more surprised or delighted. At our next team meeting to review Eddie's progress, Kate explained the project and its goals, and Eddie's father's eyes were wide with amazement. He did what? He interviewed teachers? He said. That's incredible. When Kate showed him photographs of Eddie presenting his projects to a room full of classmates, his father was overwhelmed. Eddie was achieving things his parents couldn't have imagined. He was progressing academically and socially, and his self-esteem was soaring. Other parents might have disapproved of a teacher who engaged their child in a subject as trivial as license plates. Other teachers might have insisted that Eddie read the same stories his classmates were reading, whether he liked it or not. Another school might have been open to an alternative, individualized academic approach instead of letting the child struggle and possibly fail in the standard curriculum. But Eddie's success didn't require extra money or radical innovation, just a teacher who paid close attention and had the instinct to see an enthusiasm as a strength. Kate did this by focusing on what was most motivating for Eddie, and she used his interest as a powerful inspiration for learning. She saw enthusiasm as a source of potential rather than an impediment or a problem. I hope you are well. Really focus on intentional acts of kindness and pay attention to the joy that it brings you to give of your heart, especially in a time when you know people need your heart, your thoughtfulness, your goodness. You're amazing. So have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.